Hello everyone, this is Anisha Sharma, intern at Lexlick and Company. I'm also a fourth year student at Modi University. Disclaimer for the video: this video does not solicitate, promote any kind of advertisement for the firm. It is only for educational purpose and does not is not in contravention with any of the rules made by the Bar Council of India. In the current video, I'll be telling you what is environmental law, the evolution of environmental law in India, and we'll be discussing some of the major, what are the major environmental laws that are enforced in India, and we'll be discussing some of them. First of all, let us understand what is environment. So, environment includes water, air, and land, and the interrelationship of them with human beings and other creatures, with plants, microorganisms, and any other properties. So, the law protecting them or covering them is known as environmental law. So, environmental law regulates the impact of human activities on the environment. It covers a broad range of activities that affect the air, water, land, flora and fauna, and animals. It is also reflected in the Constitution of India, and international committees have been formed for the purpose. In Constitution, it is regulated by Part 4A and Article 51, that is fundamental duties, and Part 4 and Article 48A, that is DPSP. There is also UN Convention for the UN Convention on the Human Environment, Stockholm's of 1972. The National Council for Environment Pollution was set up in 1972 within the Department of Science and Technology that was there. The Department of Environment was established in the year 1980. Which later on became the Ministry of Environment and Forest in the year 1985. Talking about some important legislations, there is the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1974, the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Cess Act of 1977, the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1981, the Environment Protection Act of 1986, the Public Liability Insurance Act of 1991, the Biodiversity Act of 2002, the NGT Act, that is National Green Tribunal Act of 2010, and the Hazardous Waste Management Handling and Transboundary Movement Rules of 2008. In the current video, we'll be dealing with the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1974. We'll be also talking about the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Cess Act of 1977. And in the further videos, we'll be dealing with the other acts. The Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of the year 1974, which is also known as the Water Act, has been enacted to provide for the prevention and control of water pollution and to maintain or restore the wholesomeness of water in the country. It further provides for the establishment of a board for the prevention and control of water pollution and to carry out the aforesaid purpose. The Water Act prohibits the discharge of pollutants into water bodies beyond a given standard. For the central, there is CPCB, which lays down the standards for prevention and control of water pollution, and for the state level, there is SPCB, which functions under the direction of the CPCB and the state government. Further, the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act, Cess Act, was enacted in the year 1977 to provide for the levy and collection of a cess on water consumed by a person operating and carrying on certain types of industrial activities. This cess is collected with a view to augment the resource of the central board and the state boards for the prevention and control of water pollution, constituted under the Prevention and Control of the Pollution Act of 1974. The act was amended in the year 2003. It necessitates to provide information to the SPCB, provide access to the SPCB for taking samples, allow entry to the SPCB to ascertain that the provisions of the act are not if the provisions of the act are not being complied with, to obtain consent to establishment, to obtain consent to operate, apply for renewal of the consent to operate before the expiry of the validity of the period, to refuse the refusal of consent to be recorded in writing. It also provides to pay water cess as indicated in the amended order. Also, it affix water meters of the prescribed standards, pay penalty for non-payment of cess, and industry is entitled to 25% of rebate if meeting certain conditions. Thank you.